Today we are going to be breaking the silence. We are going to be having a lengthy discussion about mental health. My name is Caroline Bridget and I am with
Paulo Senyonga.
Paulo Senyonga is one of our therapists, and today we are going to be talking about the rising concern of mental health amongst the youth. So, if you are an educator, a parent, or a youth, please stay on and watch this video as we educate you more about mental health. Paulo, why is mental health one of the pressing concerns of the youth today?
Mental health is a pressing concern because it strains every area of our life,
Okay.
from the health systems to relationships to families and every other facet of life.
Mm,
It is a pressing concern as well because there are limited facilities.
mm,
Take, for instance, in the whole of the central region, we only have one regional referral hospital for mental health. And guess what? It is the national referral as well.
mm,
So we have less than 6 mental health hospitals
in the country.
in the region, not in the country, in the region,
Mm.
in the East African region.
Oh.
So it is such a pressing concern. It is such a time bomb that we need to act up to.
Okay. I realized that there has been change from the previous years. If we are to talk about a decade ago and right now, there is a very, very big change. What are some of the changes that have happened or that have transpired in this mental health section?
Um, the major change that has happened is actually the technological advancements that we have now.
Mm,
And they form the basis of all the changes that are happening right now.
okay.
When you try to dig deep into the so many mental health challenges and the most common mental health issues that we actually handle today
Mm,
are having their root cause into social media, into technology, and things of the sort.
what inspired you to become a mental health therapist? And this is a very broad subject and it applies to everyone from the young people to the adults to the elderly. What inspired you to work specifically with the youth?
Working with youths is not something I do.
Mm,
It is me.
mm,
It is my purpose and my greatest privilege.
interesting.
I believe young people hold the key to the better future that they seek.
Mm,
And with the right guidance and opportunities, their potential is limitless. For me, empowering young people isn't a duty. It is an effortless calling, one that fills me with gratitude, hope, and unshakable belief in what they can achieve. When we invest in young people, we invest in a world that is brighter, stronger, and full of possibilities.
I see you are so passionate about working with the youth. And like we said, mental health is really broad and it's not something you can tackle in a day or two. What are the common mental health challenges that the youth are facing?
Fantastic. Number one, in a world where everyone is seeking attention,
Mm,
where everyone wants to be seen and heard,
mm,
we face a disorder known as ADHD.
mm.
ADHD is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
A very common one. Mm,
It's very common among young people.
mm. Can you explain that for someone who doesn't know what that means?
ADHD, in simple terms, is a disorder where a particular young person in this context
Mm,
will do everything that is unnecessary to
mm,
make sure that you are seeing them, to make sure that you are hearing them, to make sure that their actions are being acknowledged.
mm,
They will do the extra things that are sometimes offbeat
mm,
so that they are seen and heard.
mm.
Yes.
Reminds me of a very common term I hear people say, attention seekers. Is it what you're trying to explain?
Perfect. Now in psychology, it's known as ADHD. Yeah. The other mental health issue, it is postpartum depression. Postpartum depression happens to many young mothers that are giving birth for the first time. They go through a lot of mental differences and challenges and changes that do not leave them the same.
Because they are experiencing, the body is experiencing.
The body is experiencing so many things, and them as young mothers are not yet acquainted with what it takes to be a mother. Perhaps they still need support as young mothers, and they also have a baby that seeks their time and attention, and yet they also still need their attention and time. So they undergo a series of anxiety disorders, and depression sets in for the new mothers. It's called postpartum depression. The other most common mental health issue is anxiety itself, especially for young people that are just joining the workspace. They are being pressured by their bosses to perform. They are pressured by the external pressures. They want to measure up to the young people that they are seeing somewhere else. So they are anxious about life. They are anxious about what they are doing. They're not sure of their next meal. They are not sure of their next biz. They're not sure of their next promotion. So they go through a series of what we call anxiety.
Talking about what you just explained about anxiety, don't you think some of the people that are facing anxiety comparing themselves to other people, and they in a way competing with other people, so they put themselves on unnecessary pressure?
Exactly. And anxiety is also wide. But when you look at anxiety in a deep sense, the people that are always anxious are always viewing themselves as inadequate. They think they are not as good as so and so. They think they cannot speak as so and so. They think they can't write as so and so. So they develop an inferior feeling that we call anxiety. Yes.
So are those the most common ones, or there are some more?
There is another one called FOMO. Have you heard of FOMO?
I'm hearing
FOMO is fear of missing out. Many of the young people, many of the old people right now feel that they could be doing something. They could be part of something. They could be a part of something bigger. And they do all sorts of things, including the unbecoming things, to be in particular spaces. How can I end the most common mental health issues without mentioning addictions, without mentioning substance abuse, alcohol abuse among young people? Today, young people start alcohol as early as 12 years. They begin the love for adventure. They begin with love for adventure, and before you know it, they are drinking. Before you know it, they know how a beer tastes by 13. Basically, in a nutshell, those are the most common mental health issues.
We've talked about most of them that are pressing in the youth. Lately, people are inventing different social media platforms. But what is the impact of social media on the mental health of the youth?
The impact is as well negative and positive. But I must say, social media, in my own view as an individual, is doing us more harm than good. Social media has resulted into a series of things, to mention but a few. Cyberbullying. Do you know what cyberbullying is?
Yes, I do. But someone out there could miss out on it.
Cyberbullying is basically torturing young people I relate so much to young people as I respond. It is basically pulling down young people emotionally through use of social media. We have seen young people come up to attack fellow young people on social media right here. We have seen young people write very dubious comments on others' pictures to make them feel bad. And that contributes to so many mental health issues that I mentioned earlier on. Social media has as well contributed to things like sleep disorders. People's sleeping routine has changed gradually.
Because they are spending more time.
They spend more time.
It is addictive.
Young people sleep at 3 a.m.
And wake up at
7 a.m.
because it's a must at 6.
Sometimes at 6 a.m. So they sleep for less hours, and this affects them in the long run. And also, many of these young people are jumping onto trends because of the fear of missing out. And this speaks to their level of esteem. Social media has as well contributed to low self-esteem, where young people compare themselves with so many others, and they begin viewing themselves as incompetent, less of enough, and the sort.
Also because of the comments, the negative comments
Exactly.
that people that are not even in their lives give to them.
Exactly. So they end up having very low self-esteem.
Interesting. As a therapist at Serva Youth, how do you work with youth that are struggling with substance abuse, and what are some of the approaches you use?
We use a series of approaches to help the young people, but I must mention we also follow the child protection guidelines. Some of these young people are minors, they are below 18. So we engage their families for effective intervention. Number 2, we have what we call short, focused discussions. We understand that not so many people out there, including adults, can concentrate for so long. So we always have those, we call them pressure point discussions at Serva Youth. We engage young people on a particular topic for a span of 10 minutes. And then we give them a break, and then we bring them back. For them to share about their most pressing challenges in their view. Because it is very wrong to help young people while dictating what is bothering them. We let them be in charge of their life and their challenges. So we sit together to help them carve the best intervention or solution. The next way that we help young people is to have school programs. We have school outreach programs where we go to schools to share about particular topics in depth with particular groups of students. We also have what we call peer support mentorship. We get peers among young people in different areas, and we equip them with what we call parasocial work knowledge, where they can navigate a problem, where they can identify a potential threatening problem among fellow young people. And in the case that they cannot support effectively, they engage us. We also have professional counseling as well, that you know about at Serva Youth. So we offer professional counseling as part of the approaches that we engage in that we use while engaging young people.
There are quite many approaches that we use, and I find that interesting because I feel like if you use this method and it doesn't work,
we have another one.
All right. So which of them do you find most effective?
Counseling is top tier. If it is professional and done by someone that knows what they are doing and they love what they do, counseling is top tier.
Interesting. Therapist Paulo, what are some of the common risks factors for mental health among the youth?
I'll list them this way. Number one is exposure to violence, especially domestic violence, is such a big risk factor. Number two is substance abuse. Number three is economic hardships. For context, I'll call it poverty. Each of those three leads to a series of mental health issues.
It has reminded me, the reason as why I'm smiling, it has reminded me of a certain quote that you made. Do you remember it?
Surely. Yes.
Maybe you can share it with the viewers.
I said, many young people's mental health issues can be sorted with finances, especially stress-related issues. Many young people are not stressed in actual sense. They simply lack a few pennies to buy this. They lack a few pennies to do this for them. They lack the basic money to cater for basic needs. Some mental health issues are actually genetic because someone in your lineage was schizophrenic. You stand higher chances of suffering from schizophrenia. Yes.
Interesting. So, what are some of the signs that the adults can see and notice that their child or their children are going through a mental breakdown?
Now, the most common for the adults that live with young people in their homes is social withdrawal. Social withdrawal is where your child that has been part of the family meetings, that has been part of those conversations that you have as family, is no longer interested in being part of those meetings. They prefer to be isolated. They prefer to be alone. You should watch out for your child withdrawing from peers.
I think I've seen so many young people withdraw. So many people, when they come from childhood and they're becoming teenagers, they tend to change their behavior. They tend to withdraw. They tend to be reserved. Should parents be worried and be concerned?
Moderation is the name of the game. If they are overly withdrawing, you should be concerned. And if it is too spontaneous that they withdraw today, they are social for 3 days, they withdraw again, watch out. It is threatening. It is something that you should watch out for. Number two on the warning signs is extra fear or worry. Have you met a young person that you stand there and you shout unknowingly, and they get extremely terrified that they even begin crying?
Very true.
There could be something on the background. There are those young people that are excessively worrying all the time, worrying about basic things. You find them uncomfortable, you find them unwell because of a visitor that is coming tomorrow. They are worried, they are so scared that Uncle Steve is coming. You should watch out when such things happen. Number three is declining performance.
Are you talking about the academic performance or the general performance of a child?
For those in school, academic performance. For those at work, I'm talking about performance at work, results. Do they deliver at work? Do they do what they say they are going to do? So decline in performance, both academic and at work. So as a human resource manager, watch out for your employees that are all of a sudden not performing. especially if they used to perform. Before you pull out your HR manual to show how well you are you are educated, think about the human beat of things and try to analyze why are they declining in performance. Now, number 4 is unexplained headaches, stomach aches, things like that. They look petty, but they point to unwellness, to being unwell. If your child is frequently complaining of headache, if a particular employee is frequently complaining of headaches, you may want to probe further to know if there is a challenge. And lastly, in the interest of time, is self-harm threats, where someone sits down and tells you, I am going to drink poison, I am going to commit suicide, I am going to do this to myself, I am going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to... Watch out.
You don't take it as lightly as...
Don't take it lightly. Because even the good book says that what is at the heart, the mouth says something of that kind. Something of that kind. Yes.
Very interesting. So we've seen what the signs are. So a mother can see what is going on in their child's life, and employer can see what is going on in their employee's life, and they might not know how to tackle or how to handle the situation. Now, I know that one of the solutions is to run and contact Save a Youth for therapy sessions. But apart from that, how best can these people help the young people overcome the mental disturbances?
Actually, Macha's coming to Save a Youth is very important. It is something you should do when you have failed. Don't exhaust Save a Youth. First, do the first line work.
Because you stay with this person.
Do the first line work.
With this person most of the time.
Exactly. Do the first line work. And part of the first line works that you should do, number 1, is listen without judgment.
I understand, because most people might fail to open up to their parents or their elders because they fear they're going to be judged. And the average
adult will listen with preconceptions in their head. They will listen only ready to respond.
We're about to make the adults play that we listen, we don't get.
They listen because they want to respond what is on their mind. They don't listen to understand this person's point of view. Many things may not be concerns for you as an adult, but for a young person, this is a big thing.
Very true.
Denying them a particular thing, denying them to go and see a particular friend could be minor for you, but they could be sharing deeply with that particular friend. So listen to their point of view, listen to their why, listen to what informs their judgment, to what informs their thinking, and then you will be able to help them better. Listen to understand. Listen to just tell them that I understand that. I can imagine what you're going through.
When you give that kind of explanation, it reminds me that our friends, I don't want to call them the Europeans, but the whites have a better understanding of this, because you will fear to approach your African parents and have particular discussions about particular topics, because of course they will judge you. So this is just a message to inform the African parents to be as open-minded as possible, because you might judge this child, but then you lead them to a more traumatizing thing.
Exactly.
Instead of giving them the help that they would actually need.
And also, lastly, as part of listening, when you listen to your child, when you listen to your employee, take it upon yourself to be mature enough not to share what you have had unless you are sharing it with a professional, unless you are sharing it with a purpose of helping them. But many parents share with their children, and before you know it, they are telling the next parent.
And
Before you know it, they are telling the neighbor.
And the relatives.
It is so sad and unbecoming of you as a parent to begin sharing your child's struggles with another parent unless you are doing so with an intent of helping the child. So, number 2 on the first line intervention, validate the young person is worried. Validate that person is worried. If Bridget is worried about a particular thing, don't dismiss their worries. First tell them that, yeah, you must be worried. You must be worried. Validate their worry before telling them that don't worry.
Before going to the solution.
Exactly. Because when people meet people that are worried, they want to tell them, don't worry, things will validate their worry. Understand why they are worrying. And tell them, you must be worried about this. It is worrying. Acknowledge it before you begin intervening. Now, number 3 is check-ins. Check-ins.
Elaborate more about that.
By check-ins, I mean reach out to a particular person at different intervals. If you have been checking on Carol once a day, try calling them in the morning, in the afternoon, and the evening to know how they are faring. It does a lot. You know, we are social creatures. Humans are social creatures. And that is why I always say isolation leads to termination.
Termination of?
Leads to termination in so many ways. If you are isolated, you can be easily terminated from your workplace. If you are always isolated, you are easily terminated from deals. If you are always isolated, you are easily attacked. You know, in the jungle, I am an advocate of wildlife. By the way, I used to be president of wildlife while I was in high school. But in the jungle, the lion cannot attack 2 cheetahs. It can't. What it does, it is that it will roar until the cheetahs separate. And when they run separated,
it knows that
it focuses on that one that has isolated, the one that is perhaps not running fast. And that is how it is not different. It is not different with us humans. Every time you are together, every time you are with people, it becomes hard for particular people to fight you. So you are a social creature. You know, we live in a world where so many people are ignorantly advocating for you can do everything alone, you can move alone,
you are independent.
It is such a mediocre statement that mediocre people are taking on and actually publicizing. It is wrong. You are a social creature. Even the good book, you could be an unbeliever, whoever is watching, but even the good book says, even God sat and said, it is not good for man to be alone. So interactions, companionship is very key to effective mental health for you as an individual.
What strategies can youth use to cope up with anxiety, stress, and other mental challenges?
These are numbers where number 1 is developing healthy physical habits. To mention but a few. Exercise. You know, exercise is underrated. It is still regarded as kiddish. It is regarded as kindergarten PE, which is wrong. But exercising goes a long way revitalizing not just your body, but your mind. You feel better at the end of the day. You actually release not just toxins from the body, but you give way to important hormones to develop in your body.
I have a yoga therapist who told me that if you are keen enough and you look at the people that are called the gym people,
Yes.
the people who visit the gym regularly, or people who have a discipline to do physical exercises on a regular, if you have if you have time and you follow them up at their workplaces, in their relationships, in their social life, those people are perfectionists. The mere fact that they have
A consistent routine.
yes, the mere fact that they have the patience to do the physical exercises, it gives them a particular discipline,
Yeah.
and then they become a perfectionist. Is that what you're trying to explain?
Yeah, they aren't perfectionists per se, but exercising regularly goes a long way rather in having you do particular things better. And it helps you deal with the load in the long run. You know, many things, many dreams have failed to come into reality because of lack of discipline. We only do things when we feel like doing them. We don't do things because we're supposed to do them. We do when we feel like, which is entirely wrong.
We end up not being consistent.
Yes. And people that have discipline are always high performers. You do things when you feel like and when you don't feel like. It helps you achieve more, and before you know it, you can't be anxious about work because you have a discipline, you have developed a discipline of doing a particular thing when you feel like and when you don't feel like. And before you know it, you tick off a lot of boxes. Number 2 on building resilience is develop a relaxation technique. In the speaking school where I was, we are trained to force ourselves to relax before stepping on stage. Taking a cool, silent 5 minutes is mine now. Is what I do before I step on stage. I must sit aside for 5 minutes without a phone, without thinking about anything, but just to clear my mind. Prepare my mind that I am entering into a new world. Whatever has been bothering me is now off. I am on stage. I am now the MC. I'm not a social worker. I'm not anything. I am the MC. And I am here to help people appreciate the event with me. So, as you, the viewer, what is your relaxation technique? How do you relax? Do you close your eyes? Do you take a nap? Do you meditate? What is your relaxation technique? It is very important. Number 3 is build authentic relationships. Build 1 or 2 authentic relationships. Because it's only then that you will be able to sit down with Carol and tell them, you know what? I did this, I did this, but it wasn't me. And they will understand you. You
Without judgment.
Exactly. You don't need the whole world to be on your side. You just need 1 or 2 authentic people. And many people out there lack even a single person that knows the real version, not even their spouses. They are faking it at all layers. So build a real relationship.
There is a saying that says fake it until
it doesn't work in the mental health world. In being mentally healthy, it can only take you for so long. Now, number 4, set goals. Set goals. I'm not talking about these pumped up New Year resolutions. No.
Vision board.
No. Get a vision board, set New Year resolutions that you will buy a car. No. Set small, attainable goals. Have small things that you tick off each day. Have simple goals that do not necessarily require you to have money. Lastly, practice care. Good. It is for your health. Your body is the house, your house that takes you everywhere you want to go. It is your body that houses the fantastic thoughts that you have. It is your body that is going to live in that fantastic house that you want. So, groom it, have it look good, shave. Simple basics.
I've heard artists being attacked about how they dress. I don't want to attack any particular artist, but I want to point out the reply they usually give to the people. They keep on explaining that I do not dress for anyone. I dress for me. So when you're talking about self-care, I think people should do self-care. If they are women, they should dress up not to entice men, but they dress up to be comfortable, to be smart, to feel good, to feel better about themselves. If it is men, they shouldn't be dressing up to entice women or to attract women to themselves. If you're a man, you're growing a beard, you shouldn't be growing that beard for a woman. You should be growing it for yourself. That is my 2 cents about that. But lately, people talk about self-love, self-care, and that is one of the things that you've talked about. How good is it? What is the importance of youths and young people? Why should they do self-care? How is it good for their mental health?
Now, number one, when you groom well, when you are clean, when you are sure you're looking like your best self, you automatically have high self-esteem. You think good about yourself. You appreciate yourself more. And guess what? People notice when you take care of yourself. And people that even don't want to take care of themselves want people that take care of themselves.
Interesting.
And people that take care of themselves also want people that take care of them. So choose. For your own sanity. Why aren't you brushing? Why aren't you shaving? Why is your beard shapeless? Why aren't you washing your clothes? Those simple basics. And they turn off so many people. So it is in your best interest to take care of yourself.
As Africans, we are learning to talk about certain things. We are learning to have open discussions with our parents. We are learning so many things. Mental health is regarded as one of the things that we are just learning to deal with. We are learning to have open conversations with our parents, with our mentors. There are things we are just learning to talk about. There is a lot of stigmatization around mental health. What can we do to break the stigma amongst the youth?
I will still bullet my points. Number one is speak openly and normalize the conversations. We should stop asking people, how are you, for the sake?
For the sake of I'm fine.
Of late, I have very few friends, but as I greet them, I don't say how are you on phone. Unless I am looking them straight in the eye and I'm watching their body language, I can't say how are you. I want to say how are you. I want to watch the I am fine that they will fake. I want to watch I am fair. I want to watch every word. I want to watch the tone. I want to watch the body language. I want to sense the aura around them as they respond. So we must be willing to invest the time and energy and presence as we speak to our friends, as we speak to the people that we care about. Number two is we've got to be mindful of language. We've got to be mindful of which language we greet our people, we talk to our people. there are many people that are accustomed to greeting people in a way of mwana oli otya. And random senyonga may take offense by telling them mwana oli otya. I will interpret it as what we call kamaniro. I will interpret it as someone that is very disrespectful, as someone that is inconsiderate, as someone that is not groomed properly. I'll call you uncultured if you approach me as mwana oli otya. I don't care how old you are or how young you are. So we have to be mindful of the language that we use with particular people.
I think when you talk about language, you should also highlight the language that is a bit abusive or language that can mean to demean certain individuals. You might speak something when you're saying it lightly, and then whoever you're saying it to misunderstands your perception, and they take it in. They take offense. They take it in a very different manner. So you should know where. Who you talk to and how you talk to them.
Actually, I was at office sometime, and a random young person about 30 years entered. And because I am youthful, they greeted me as Muyayi Chechiriwo. But they do not realize that they are saying Muyayi Chechiriwo. It could be a right tone when you find someone downtown, but this is office. You have people to work with, and someone approaches you that way.
I think I also need to highlight that much as you're talking about the youth to youth, you're giving us the youth to youth kind of examples.
Yes.
There are some other examples that we have that are like parent to child. I'll give you an example of a child who is not born in that particular family. Could be a stepchild, could be a cousin. Such children are very sensitive. You could use a particular language as a parent because you are angry, and this is going to affect the child. I think for the rest of their lives. I have someone who I know who went to a particular family. She was a stepdaughter and she was very light skinned. Now, skin color, we take a light skinned people to be beautiful. We associate a brown with
beauty.
To beauty. That's why people buy lightening cream. So the particular girl was light skinned. But they used to sing a particular song to make her feel small because she is light skinned. So she grew up feeling bad and feeling small.
About being light.
Yes, and she was a very beautiful girl. But her self-esteem was
deteriorated.
Yes, because of the language that the people around were using, even when what she had was not a bad thing. So much as we have the young people that are not well groomed, that are misusing language, I think also
it is very
the parents need to be very careful with what they say, because whatever you say to this child, they are not going to forget. Some parents are very abusive, and we appreciate it in Africa.
Guess what? There are so many African parents that have normalized terms like gu, chi, ka, and it is normal. And on so many mental health spaces, many people find it normal. But the times have changed. It could have been normal then, but can we embrace the times? Can we reduce the rate at which we term our young people? Defining our young people in terms of size, it is so demeaning to humanity. It is no longer right. It used to be okay then, and people used to make fun of it, but it is no longer fun. Speaking to a small person as ka, an ugly person as gu, It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Yes. So language is very key. Now, number 3 is sharing personal experiences. And when I say that we should share our personal experiences, I don't mean that you should share them every time and anywhere. Share your personal experiences with purpose, and share them with intent of offering experience for someone to heal. So we need to share more about what we have been through for people to learn. Many people think that what they are going through is so unique to them. But at times when we share and people get to know that, hey, even this person speaking today has ever been embarrassed. I'm not the first person to be embarrassed. They may cope better. They may be more resilient. They will be able to speak up. And lastly, you that is watching, support mental health conversations. You have no business watching us and you fail to share this information.
Very true.
Write about it. Support and publicize anything that you see that supports mental health.
I hope our listeners, our viewers have learned so much more. We know that we shall give them more and more and more of this kind, but what is the most important message that you would like our viewers to take home from whatever we have discussed today?
Be an instrument of hope. Be an instrument of addition. Be an instrument of positive multiplication. I can't add on to it.